Hello and welcome to Retire Rich, Tales of Financial Freedom podcast with your host, Marc Hernandez. I'm your producer, RJ Malik. Marc, good to see you. How you doing today?
I'm great, RJ. How are you?
I'm doing very well, and I'd like to know what we're going to talk about today.
Well, I'm going to talk about something that's very basic, you might say. It's just sharing some ideas on how to save money. I can tell you this. What I'm seeing is that this newer generation, I don't know, starting maybe with the Millennials, Gen Z, I do not see them with the same, you might say, same need or same desire to save money the way that the baby boomers did.
Really?
Yeah, it's when I was growing up, I mean, we all had a piggy bank. I don't know if you had a piggy bank. You know, we were taught.
I had a teddy bear.
Oh, wow.
Bank.
Well, we had various types of piggy banks.
Okay.
But they weren't one. I know even the old fashioned ones that our grandparents had, you know, you'd have to smash them to get the money out. Well, no, we had the one that had the little compartment where you could open it up and get money out.
Escape hatch.
You know, we learned to save money. We were taught save money. We're big savers. Baby boomers were big savers. But what I'm seeing the lack of urgency on the part of the younger generation. And it's not, I'm not trying to be negative or anything, but I don't see the same urgency that my parents had and that I had. And I just want to share some ideas and share some thoughts on how people can save money. One statistic that I heard that was very alarming is the credit card debt we have in this country.
Yes.
So again, my generation and the previous generation, they've had very little credit card debt. You know, they would just, if they didn't have the cash to pay for it, they didn't get it. Well, now, I think people just say, you know what? Don't worry about the future because I'll just charge it,
Sure.
And what I want to talk about today is ways of putting money away, maybe making it easier systematically. I think that is a key word I want to use right now. Systematic way of putting money away. That way they'll have it. And I'm going to share a few stories, success stories that I've had with clients. I'm going to share some maybe semi-fails that we've had with clients in that they had different philosophies on saving money. And the first step I talk to people about when they said, Marc, I'm not putting away enough money. I'm concerned. I need you to help me with my financial planning. The first thing I ask them is, do you have a plan? Do you have a budget that you work on? Most people say, no, I mean, I just, pay as I go along. And, I said, do you, at the end of the month, do you run short at the end of the month, or do you have plenty to meet all your obligations? And most of the time it's in the affirmative. They have enough to meet their obligations. But again, then I worry, are they really being honest with me? Are they sharing the real scoop with me? Well, the first thing I tell everyone that even looking at retirement, I talk to people every day that are planning to retire. I'll say the same thing as I do with those that are not saving properly. The first thing you do is take an inventory of everything you're spending money on. Just take an inventory on what you're spending money on. Take a blank sheet of paper, write down every bill or payment that you have, that if you don't pay it, they'll take it away or turn it off. That's simple. It's just simple. Everybody can understand that. Oh, well, if I don't pay my light payment, they're going to turn it off. If I don't pay my mortgage, they're going to repossess my home. If I don't pay my car, they're going to repossess my car. Very simple. Just go down the line, every single thing that if you don't pay it, they're going to take it away or turn it off. We have a term for that. It's called fixed expenses. Okay? Those are your fixed expenses. And go even further, especially on a mortgage, cars, loans, when will that expense be paid off? When's the date it'll be paid off? Hopefully in the near future. Most mortgages, they're 30-year mortgages, some are 15-year mortgages. They're, they got a long time to go. That's fine. But a car, if it's within a year of being paid off, what's the interest rate on there? If it's a high rate, they've got a little savings. Maybe it's worth a while to pay it off, free up that money where they can utilize that money to invest and start saving. Okay. But the thing is that they have to know, everyone, if you're out there listening, if you don't know what that number is, please do this exercise. If out of all my podcasts, if the only thing you learn from the podcast or the only thing you actually use for the podcast is I wrote on a sheet of paper every single bill that I have. If you don't pay it, they'll take it away or turn it off. If you did that, I accomplished. There's that success. I've accomplished something on these podcasts that's very successful because very important. Second thing is, all you do is say, well, this is how much money's coming into the household. If my spouse works or my partner works, I work, this is how much we're net after taxes, after all expenses, after deduction for contributions are taken out. This is what we're bringing into the household. Then you say, okay, this is what we're bringing in. These are the bills that are added up that if you don't pay it, they'll take it away or turn it off. Then number one thing is, hopefully there should be a nice difference, okay? So let's say you're bringing home $7,000 a month between you and your spouse or partner, and the bills you wrote down, if you don't pay it, they'll take it away or turn it off, is $4,000. Well, you've got a $3,000 immediate cushion. We call that discretionary income. Okay, that's your discretionary income. But I mentioned fixed expenses. Fixed expenses, you don't pay it, they take it away or turn it off. But I didn't mention going to the grocery store. I didn't mention filling your tank up with gas. I didn't mention taking your loved ones out to eat, going to the movies, going to ball games, going to the bar, having a drink with the buddies. I didn't mention any of that. Well, at least those expenses you have some control over. That is one place that you can find various ways of saving money. Okay. Number one. Okay. Hopefully, if you have a credit card, you have a credit card that gives you cash back or gives you some bonuses on that. I use a credit card that allows me to build points for free flights, for companion fares. I'm not going to mention the company's name, but you probably know what it is. And I charge everything on it because I love to travel and on a whim, and that's great. So I don't have to pay for flights. That's wonderful. So and I use it because I'm charging for my everyday expenses, and I try to use it and I pay the bill as quickly as I can. So that's one thing you can use for your discretionary income. Number two, go shop, get your gas at places that, again, I won't name them, but there's places that large retail establishments that usually charge less for their gas per gallon. Okay. So if it's in your area, if you don't have to use a tremendous amount of gas to get there, recommend going there. So save your money, save some money on gas. What about just your basic utilities, electricity? Hey, let me share this with you. My dad will laugh at this. My dad, to prove a point, 1 month, or probably several months, 1 month, he wouldn't allow us to turn on the lights at night. He wouldn't allow us to turn on the air conditioner till we didn't have central air. I'm sorry. I wasn't, we had a unit in the wall, big unit, and that was supposed to cool the whole house. So what he would do, say, we're only going to turn that on after the sun goes down. So that way, we're going to do this, and to prove a point. And he got that bill, I think, and this was in the 70s, in the 1970s. I still think the bill was maybe a couple $100 a month, maybe. And back then that was a lot. He got it down to like $30 a month.
Hmm.
And we weren't really suffering. We weren't really, and I'll tell you what, we would open our windows. We had windows that actually opened. I don't know,
Yeah.
nowadays homes have windows that actually open. The
Yeah.
wind would come in, the breeze would come
Yes.
in. We had the AC going, and we'd close the doors, and that was part of the room. So the AC would take hold. If you got hot, grab your sleeping bag, grab your blankets, go to that room, lay on the floor. You're nice and cool for the day. Turn off the AC when the day started, just to prove a point. So the thing is that there are ways that you can save money on discretionary items. Just
Sure.
go make a list of those discretionary items. Going to the store, going to the store, budget, your gas, eating out. Whoa. Nowadays,
Yes.
I mean, I've got a good income, so I eat out all the time. And we eat good. We eat good. But, if I'll tell you what, if you realize how much you're eating out and what it's costing you, you'd say, I eat it 3 times a week. Well, how much are you spending? Okay. Well, oh, wow. We're spending this amount. Okay. You go to your credit cards, just go to your credit cards, go to, or if your receipts, save your receipts and say, how much are we spending eating out? Well, if I eat out, if I don't eat out, I'm going to have to buy groceries and eat at home. Well, I'll tell you one thing, it's going to be significantly cheaper than eating out. Maybe
Yes.
by at least 2/3. If you buy a steak or you buy whatever, you might spend $12, $15, but you go out to eat, it's with you and your spouse, it's $50, $60, $70. Where I'm at, I'm sure in other places it's much more, $100, $120, whatever.
I had that. My wife and I went into New York City to see a play, and we went out to lunch, burgers and fries, one appetizer and soft drinks, $100
Oh,
for
boy.
2 people, and that was like 6 months ago. So yeah.
I can tell you that if you look at it now, let me go to more of an extreme. A few years ago, I had a client. He was a government employee. His wife worked at a church. She worked, and she wasn't being paid very much, but she worked in the church as in the office. And he goes, Mark, he said, we're not saving any money. We're not saving any money. I'm concerned. And they were young. They were in their late 20s, maybe early 30s. And I said, all I did was I said, if you do these exercises, I'm going to tell you, you're going to start saving money, but it takes discipline.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to make sacrifices. 2 good words to make lots of money: sacrifices and discipline. If you do that, and I don't care how old you are, you say, well, I'm 60 years old. I'm not, setting my ways. I'm going to do that. No, if you do the same things, you're going to free up money that you can set aside for more discretionary things, or to save for and invest to build a legacy, or build when you be put in the nicest facility, or get the best home health care, whatever. But here's what, again, the same basic: write every bill that if you don't pay it, take it away or turn it off. Here's the next thing: each spouse or partner, get you a little notebook, just a little, notebook. One of the ones, I don't even, do they still sell them? The ones where the spiral notebooks that are real small, where you can make notes in. I don't know if they, but you can use you can use your phone. You can use your smartphone.
Yes.
Here's what you do. Here's what you do. Every day, just even your smartphone, put the date down on notes. This is the date today. List every single thing that you paid for that day. I went to fill up my car with gas. Today's date, $55. Lunch at a fast food establishment, $18. I stopped by the convenience store because I needed cigarettes. I don't know, $8, whatever. Oh, I bought a lottery ticket. Hey, I buy lottery tickets. You never know. Somebody wins.
I cut that out because what I did one day is I saw a bunch of lottery tickets, because I got into the habit of buying lottery tickets, and I wasn't looking at them, and I had a bunch of them, and I looked at, there was a pile of them, and I went through them, and I spent $80 on lottery tickets and I won $2. That
Well,
is the last time I've bought a lottery ticket.
I
That was just
understand. I
such a
understand.
neon sign.
I understand, but there's always one winner. You never know if it's your time. You never know. So whatever you buy that day, and it
Yeah.
takes patience, it takes discipline, but you write every single thing that you spend money on. Now, the end of the month, you go and you add it all up. Gas, you could put columns: gas, lottery tickets, eating out, whatever. You add it all up. Add it all up. Okay. You'll see exactly, and then add that to the fixed expenses. And then you can go, whoa, I'm running a deficit. Oh my gosh, this is what's coming in. This is what I'm spending. I'm running a deficit. I must have, maybe you charged, it charged it. But so here's the thing. This couple came in 3 or 4 months later. They were extremely disciplined. They sacrificed. You know what he told me? Mark, that was a fantastic idea. We're saving, I think, $1,200 a month. They found, and we'll talk more about what they did with that and what you can do. But they found money. And here's the thing they told me, and it's stuck in my head. And we're talking, this happened 10, 12 years ago. It's been a while. They said, Mark, before I spent any money, I thought about it. In other words, do I need to buy this? Do I need to spend this? What they found was eating out. They started sharing plates. They started cutting whatever normally they would spend. They made sure they cut it in half. Maybe they got that meal deal or whatever, ate a little less. Gas, they tried to find out, do we need to go all these places? Do we need to use that much gas? So to make a long story short, they were doing extremely well financially. And and they're one of many, I've done that, recommended this over the years. I don't know if they kept up with it or not. Even myself, thank goodness, my wife and I financially, we've been doing really well. I've never done that, even though, but you know what? Now that I'm talking about this, I think I'm going to try it. I'm not going to go as extreme as my dad and try to turn off the AC and do all this stuff.
Right.
But I'm going to go sit down with my wife and say, you know what? Starting January 1st, let's go for 3 months and let's see what we come up with. Let's see what we come up with. I'm curious. Now I'm curious. But the thing is that you can, if you sacrifice, you discipline, you follow these little basic rules, you can find money to save. Anyone can find money to save, work and budget. Now, what about the big savings? Most people where they work, they have opportunities to put money away. Okay.
Right.
They have, if you're working, first off, many of my clients working, we even have programs to help them while they're working. They have a 401k. You have a 401k at work. Okay. The goal with that 401k is to put money in. And I try to tell my clients, we want to eventually try to get to the point where you max out your contributions.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Now, the contributions for 2024 are $23,000. If you're making $50,000 a year, you can't put $23,000. But what can you put that you're going to feel comfortable with? And think of it, and even if it hurts a little bit, think of it as a tax. I try to tell them, think of your contribution as a tax, as a that it's required. Think of, it's coming out of your paycheck. Hopefully you get used to it. It becomes second nature. Think of it as that. Now, here's the thing. Every time you get a raise, every time your income increases, if you're doing proper budgeting, increase your 401k contribution with that increase. Keep increasing it. The goal is to start maxing out, get to the $23,000 level, and oh my gosh, you'll see your account soar. I mean, but what I find in my experience, RJ, is that, hey, I just bought a house. I got two
Right.
cars. My wife and I are
Right.
both working. We have kids. The kids are in soccer, baseball, karate. We got to pay for
Sure.
that. We got to pay for all these activities, all the clothing. We got all this. So what my experience is, normally I don't see clients really putting lots of money into their 401k until the kids are out of the house, out of college, you've educated them. Maybe the house is paid for by now, the cars are paid for. You usually have at least one car payment. That's very, very natural. But the thing is, even if you do have the kids at home and you're doing all these things, if you follow where's our money going, and you have control of that money, where it's going, and you're budgeting properly, you should be able to contribute at least a substantial amount to your 401k. Okay. Now, here's the thing. If you're fortunate enough to work for a company that has a 401k that they're matching, boy, you got to at least put in the minimum to get the maximum match. RJ, I can't tell you how many times I run into somebody that's got a 401k and I said, "Oh, are they matching you?" Yeah, I think they are, especially in the healthcare industry. They're fantastic. They match up to 6%, 8%, sometimes 10%. Boy, and my son's in the healthcare industry, and he's got those great programs, and he's been able to put good money in there. So the thing is that you need to at least put what they're matching. Because I've seen some, they say, "Oh, I'm putting 2%. What's your match?" Well, I don't know. Then we find out it's 5 or 6%. You're losing money. That's free money that you're leaving there on the table. You got to find a way to at least put what they're matching. If they are matching and you're fortunate, great. You're way ahead of the game. Because there's a lot of 401ks. They have 401ks and they offer it, but there's no matching. But I tell them you need to at least put the matching. Now, especially if they're starting off, we recommend to go the Roth version. If there's a Roth version on anything you can put money in, put it, because that means you're paying money with after-tax dollars, but all your gains in the future will be tax-free. When you take money out, it's tax-free. So highly, highly recommend use the Roth version, because you'll save yourself money in the future in the form of taxes, right?
Right.
So what we want you to do is we want you to put money away, sit down. If you don't have an advisor, give us a call. But if you have an advisor, hey, what is my 401k? How does it work? What's going on? Help them properly allocate it. Like I said, we have programs to do that. I saw a couple of our clients that are on our planning program that have 401ks at work, and they're, "Oh, Mark, my 401k is booming." And I said, "And have you received any notices that you need to make any adjustments on it?" "No." I said, "Then you're on the right track." Because if the things change, the climate changes, they are notified immediately to make adjustments to their account, and that's what we do for our clients that are working to have 401ks. But again, we want you to put as much as you can in 401k. I harp back to know where your money's going, know how much is coming in, get control of your discretionary spending, and where you can afford to put as much as your 401k as you can. Okay, that is an ideal way of saving money. And the thing is that if you don't have a 401k, we have a lot of clients that are educators. They have tax sheltered annuities or 403bs. They can put money in there. Again, maybe they can't afford the limit. There's probably not matching. Most 403bs in school districts don't have any matching, but they probably have a Roth version they can put in to save money. But put anything in. If you can only put $20 a month or $25 a month, put something in. But have the right type of program in place. 401ks have many different options, many different allocation options, stocks, bonds, some now alternatives. They have ETFs in them now. They have all kinds of things in them. That's great. But sometimes poor educators, 403bs, Sometimes people come to their district, they might only offer the vendors fixed annuities that are paying 3 or 4%. Well,
Oh,
the thing is that make sure you get a list of all of the vendors that are available in your school district. That way you can pick and choose and hopefully find one that's invested in mutual funds or program where you have an opportunity for more growth. And a lot of times people get scared, the 401k, if they have 403b, we even bring up a thrift savings plan that's for government workers. Thrift savings plan, you could put the same amount in a 401k, the 23,000. And I didn't bring up, if you're over 50, they have what's called a catch-up provision. Now remember, now you're over 50, kids are probably out of the house, house is paid for, that kind of thing. So you should have more discretionary income. Plus, over the years, your income has risen, right? Hopefully you got raises, that sort of thing. Well, that's when clients can start maxing out their 401ks because they have enough to do that. And it's very common. A lot of my clients are maxing out their 401ks. But after age 50, you have what's called a catch-up provision. No, you don't. You're not limited to just put 23,000. You can put another 7,500. So you can put up to 30,500. So if you're doing that, you're probably going to end up winning the race in the future. Okay. A lot of times, our clients that are maxing out their retirement plans at work, they retire, have a substantial amount of income. Usually, with that income, Social Security, maybe other benefits or other income they have, they're making more in retirement than they were working. We call that winning the game of life. And I point that out. I
yeah.
said, hey, you won the game of life. So you're good,
Yeah.
and as long as you don't get some crazy brother-in-law or some family member that says they want you to invest in their crazy idea of some business to make money. As long as you keep your money invested, keep control of it, you should be fine. You should be fine. So for individuals, even if you're working and your employer doesn't offer anything, you can just open up your own IRA, individual IRA. For 2024, you could put up to 7,000. If you're over 50, you could put 8,000. We want you to put something in, have it invested wisely so you can build a nest egg for the future. So, even if, maybe I'm not going to have time to make it over 1 million or 2 million, but maybe I have time to build up 50 to 100,000. That'll be very helpful. Have it there's a little nest egg in the future to rely on. So again, you need to have the idea of saving. The younger generation, like I said, they if we can get them to put anything away, at work, their 20s, put $20 a month, just get with an advisor, get with somebody to start working with you and get you on the right path to financial independence. That's something that we want to help them with. Now, again, we hear this all the time. Well, I don't have enough money to pay my bills. How am I going to save? Well, this is kind of start getting to a little bit of off the path type of investment advice. One is, and we've done this many times with people at work. First thing I ask them is, I don't have enough money to put away in my 401k. How big a tax return do you get? Oh, I get 8,000. I get 9,000. I got all these child credits. I get this and this and this. I go, okay. How about we change your exemptions at work? People aren't aware. A lot of times people are working. They go, oh, I'm claiming one for myself on my W-4. Oh, I'm claiming two. I have 2 or 3. I have 3 kids or whatever. Well, all when you list these exemptions, all it is, it determines how much federal tax is taken from your paycheck. Okay. So if somebody's not able to save and they go, well, if we can free up another $50 a month or $100 a month, but your take home pay is the same, would you be willing to put that money in there? Yes, of course, I can do that. Okay. Well, work with your office manager, your personal office, and say, hey, if I change my exemption to this, how much federal tax are you going to take out? Oh, well, if you change it to 4 or 5, now they're going to take out $50 less a month or pay period or whatever. Now, what's going to happen is when you file your tax return, again, we can't give you tax advice. Okay. Your tax advisor can give you tax advice. All I'm doing is sharing ways we've worked with clients in the past and currently to try to help them come up with money to put in their 401k, their TSP, their 403bs, or put money aside. If they're already getting a pretty nice return, then what's going to happen is you're less federal tax coming out. So your return may not be as much, but it should be positive. Now, we try to explain to them, you do understand that when you get a tax return, the government's had your money all year. You're just getting a refund on money you should have had all year. Okay. The ideal return is where you owe the government $100 or they owe you $100. That's the ideal tax return. I've never seen that. I only have to pay a lot of money, but I could never do that. But for the average person, that making middle income, they can find ways of freeing up money to put away or put more in their 403b or their 401k or their TSP or whatever they might have at work. So very much, that is an option. So you can go talk to your whoever handles your payroll and say, hey, what would happen if I increase my exemptions? And there's no law that keeps you from doing it. But if you end up owing the IRS, if you already owe the IRS every year, that's not a good idea. Because if you under paid, and you end up paying a lot, you could be subject to some issues there. So the thing is, talk, if you get a pretty big return, if you change your exemptions to free up $50 or $100 a month, it's probably not going to be a huge difference on your return. Okay. But that's something that you can do to free up money so you can save the money. That's what we want you to do. Save the money. But again, set aside something every month, no matter what it is, $10 a month, because especially the younger you are, it can add up quicker. And once you get used to it, when you get your raises, make sure you increase it by your raise, especially if you've got the rest of your household expenses in control by following some sort of budgeting plan. Okay.
Excellent.
The next thing is that if you're retired, Mark, I'm retired. I've saved all this money. I've gotten plenty of income coming in, that sort of thing. Well, hey, one way you're saving money is saving money on taxes. Okay. So we have conversations with clients. We look at their portfolio. What is creating taxes? Oh, I'm paying taxes. Oh, I've got all these stocks that are paying all these dividends, which I really don't need. Now, if we have clients that want to use dividends to supplement their income, they need it. That's wonderful. But if clients do this, hey, I don't even take money out of my accounts. I don't want to touch my money. If it's qualified money, it was money I saved for retirement, and they're not 73, they don't have to take a requirement of distributions yet. Once it gets to 73, they have to start taking RMDs, So the thing is that you could talk about repositioning money to programs that may reduce their taxes. They might have money sitting in programs where they're paying taxes on CDs, on interest they earn for CDs, interest they're earning on interest-bearing accounts. By making a transition to maybe a safe, secure, fixed annuity, it might be paying more interest. Those annuities are tax deferred. You're not paying taxes on that money while it grows. And guess what? They're not subject to required minimum distribution. You can leave them there forever, and if you pass away, then it becomes your heirs' burden to pay taxes on those gains. But but you don't want to mess with it. A lot of times I have clients that just hoard money. They just hoard money. They love to have it there, know it's there. They don't want to use it. I'm going to leave it to my kids. I want to leave them something, or, I have it there, but why pay taxes on money that you're not using, Right. So that's what we have conversations with clients that are retired, affluent clients, or clients that they don't need the money to live on. Maybe they've got a good pension. They've got, other monies coming in. So, they don't need it. So we just try to, we can save you money by saving you money on taxes. So these are ideas that, because we want you to save money. I want to save money. I do implement a lot of these tax savings ideas for myself. But regarding going back to the basic budgeting idea, if you feel that you don't have enough money to put away or contribute to your 401k or TSP or thrift savings plan or whatever you have, use these exercises. Get control of my fixed expenses. Get control of my discretionary expenses. Find money that you can filter in to this, because remember, this, if you free up money, now you haven't invested. Well, that money is appreciated, by the rate of return. Hopefully you have it in a type of program that has the opportunity for substantial growth. And as you get older, you get closer to retirement, maybe you need to obviously get more conservative. And then when you leave, then you get with your advisor, hopefully come up with a game plan for provide you with income, provide you with the kind of program you want that's ongoing. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. Ideas, how to save some money. And it primarily comes down to proper budgeting and getting control of your money.
Lots of great information there, Mark. And how can people find you?
Well, first, you can give us a call at our office. It's area code 956-994-0407. You can go to our website. You can go to my personal website, which is Marc, M-A-R-C, at mahfinancial.biz, B-I-Z, or you can go to www.mahfinancial.biz. And there, navigate our website. All our podcasts are there. You can request a complimentary review of your current situation. We'd be happy to sit down and have a conversation to see how we can help you.
Excellent. Thank you, Mark. Looking forward to your next podcast. And thank you for listening to today's Retire Rich Tales of Financial Freedom podcast. Please like, follow, and share this podcast with friends and family. Until next time, for Mark, I'm R.J. Malik.
Thank you for listening to Retire Rich Tales of Financial Freedom. Have questions about topics covered during the show? Visit our website at www.mahfinancial.biz or give us a call at 956-994-0407. Don't forget to click the follow button to be notified when new episodes become available. Investment advisory services and financial planning services are offered through Simplicity Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. SEC registration does not constitute an endorsement of the firm, nor does it indicate that the advisor has attained a particular level of skill or ability. Insurance, consulting, and education services offered through M.A.H. Financial. M.A.H. Financial is an unaffiliated entity from Simplicity Wealth. Clicking the like button does not constitute a testimonial for or an endorsement of our investment advisory firm, any associated person, or our services. Clicking the like button is merely a mechanism to circulate our page. Like is not meant in the traditional sense. In addition, postings to our page must refrain from recommending us or providing testimonials for our investment advisory firm. Because the SEC and state securities regulators generally prohibit testimonials, any such postings are subject to swift removal.
The views expressed herein reflect the views of Marc Hernandez and Carlos Lopez as of the date referenced. These views may change as conditions change. The views expressed herein are not intended and should not be construed as investment advice, and they do not address any individual's specific situation.